Yo, what's up? It's Crim, also known as the Asian Avenger. This week we're playing Mill. If you don't know what Mill is, well, it's pretty straightforward. Imagine if all your blue spells were burn, but instead of burn damage of like their health total is now their library. So yes, we're going to try to burn through 60 cards in our opponent's deck, and that should be pretty easy. We've got the brand new Jace Perfected Mind. This card has completed our deck, and that it is now our closer. We have Tasha's Hideous Laughter, but Jace is another bomb, a haymaker that can come down on turn 3, be a very cheap way to just keep blanking attackers with his +1, which gives -3, -0. And then of course there's the -2, which is mill target player 3, and then draw a card, draw 3 instead if there's 20 or more cards in that player's library. So this is more often than not, if our opponent lets us keep this with how efficient our mill spells are, we'll probably draw 3. But then we can also play it for 4 mana, which would then mean it enters for 5 loyalty. With 5 loyalty now, you can minus all 5 and mill 15. So Jace is a big mill, big win condition that we absolutely love seeing. On top of that, we've got other efficient mill spells. Thanks to Brothers War, we've got Mesmeric Orb, that wonderful little metallic boba orb. That thing is going to be milling people for every time they untap. Every permanent that untaps, that person mills 1, including ourselves. And that's going to be to our benefit. That's why we have some cards like Founding the Third Path. A saga that's really cheap, allows us to, on turn 2, play either a removal spell or one of our mill spells like Glimpse the Unthinkable, Maddening Cacophony, and then setting it up so that the next turn we can mill somebody for 4, and then eventually Saga Chapter 3 will be able to then just actually cast anything from our graveyard, which is exactly what we want, right? Because when Mesmeric Orb is milling our own stuff, it's nice to know that, there's some way of reoccurring some of the stuff that gets milled, so it's not permanently gone. And then on top of that, we've also got cards like Cling to Dust to hopefully pick off singleton things in the graveyard, which hopefully, if we don't draw it, hopefully we mill it off Mesmeric Orb, so this way we can maybe pick off the Dragonstorm decks, or maybe a Greasefang deck or something like that. And then the main reason why we don't play something, because you're like, Crim, but why don't you just exile somebody's graveyard entirely? Well, exiling somebody's graveyard entirely is a little bit rough for us because we need to have a Drown in the Lock online, as that's one of our most efficient spells. Drown in the Lock is a counter spell and a removal spell. It does it all. It walks your dog. It does everything you want it to do in this deck. We do have Scavenger Ground as an emergency big red button to exile all graveyards, but that is if you really need to do it, because Drown in the Lock is huge for us. And then thanks to Phyrexa All As One, we've also got a brand new removal spell in Sheoldred's Edict. This card is great because Historic has got so many aura effects, like aura decks and things that can get hexproof, indestructible. So why not just get around it entirely by having them sacrifice it? As Sheoldred's Edict will allow us to either make them choose a creature, a creature, like a normal one, a non-token creature, and then a token creature, or a planeswalker. So it's versatile, even in a control matchup where there are tons of planeswalkers running around. And we got Dark Slick Shore, so our mana base got even better. Naturally, we are also running some of the other cards like Ritual of Soot, Fatal Push. These are just things that help us respect the aggro game that's out there on the ladder. And Baleful Mastery, I'm often always just casting it for 2 because it's drawing an opponent a card, which is kind of like exiling something and then milling them 1. So let's see how we do on the ladder with this mill deck, because we're going to have to essentially set our opponent's lives to 60 and see how it works from there. This is about as good of a mill start as you could ask. You have your Crab, you have a removal spell, counter spell, and your Metallic Boba to set it up. Also got to check the battlefield, because in Historic, some people love playing 200-card decks. So you never know when you might run into the one person that wants to have it all. Literally, have it all. All right. Now, we've got Ruined Crab on 1. If they don't interact with it, we mill 3. They have the Druid. Okay, this is a risk because tapping out against this opponent means that they could just go off and combo and go do the infinite wizard spell creature, the 2/1 that copies things. However, I do need to get the mill train going now. All right, well, luckily, I will draw a land. I did not draw a land, so that's my fault. I need to blow this thing up, but it doesn't matter because they've already got pretty much an additional mana source in Klothys. It's okay. 24 lands. I think that luckily this deck doesn't need a really high mana curve. 4 is where we top out. So, that's okay. All right. I drew a land as expected. As one does. As one does. We've seen a Banefire milled from our opponent. Growth Spiral. Solemn. A Coma's down on there. So they're at 21 cards right now. What can I do about that? I guess I could just set them up with double mill. Like, I mean, what? Look, we came to mill, right? So if we're going to mill Mesmeric Orb ×2, that's everybody's friend. That's everybody's favorite line of play. I don't know what their deck is doing yet, though, because I haven't seen any of the Cloning Wizard. So they have an additional green or red source this turn, which could mean Key to the Archive. All right, so that means they're going to draft from the Key to the Archives book, which means Approach, Day of Judgment, Time Warp, Counterspell, Demonic Tutor, Doomblade, Lightning Bolt, Claim the Firstborn. I think the worst thing they could hit is probably a Counterspell, to be honest, because I want to do what I want to do, and I want them to not interact with it. I've drawn a land. I'm a gamer. So here comes Jace. Okay, what are they at? 34 cards. I think I'm playing Jace. I'm playing Jace. I'm minusing 2 because that draws me 3 cards. Minusing 15 here won't do that much for me. I got to set up a blocker. I am extremely worried about whatever our opponent's deck is doing, though, because I'm curious what Key to the Archive gave them. If it's a Putrefy or something like that, that's fine, because, again, Putrefy only targets one of my my little Mesmeric Orbs. All right, we've milled their Negate. So they do play one-off counterspells. So I have to imagine that they're playing others. Now, Key to the Archive will let them look at 3 of the spells in that book. So it could mean that they did get counterspell. So I got to get something that is good enough to make them want to counterspell me, but actually not game-ending for us to get countered. So I'm thinking, like, I feel like Founding the Third Path is good enough, right? That is a good card that allows me to cast something from my hand, which is probably going to be Maddening Cacophony, and that'll put them down minus 8 cards in library. They're at 22 cards now, so they'll drop down to 20. They'll drop down to 14, which is exactly where Jace wants them to be, because Jace mills 15 at 4 mana. If you don't complete Jace, Primal Command target. Oh no, they've got the truth. They've got the truth. Okay, so Primal Command is very good against us. It's okay. You know, let's mill 60 cards again. It's fine. It's going to be fine. Everything's fine. This is the way I drew it up. It's the way I wanted to play out. Perfect. Perfect. I am not afraid. I am not afraid whatsoever. I'll do it again. I love my milling. All right. Just... Oh, we milled their Chandra. Milled. Each player shuffles their graveyard into life. They literally have a survive right there. That's big sad. That's actually kind of big sad.
We can improve upon your idea.
How do I beat that? I mean, as long as Paradise Druid is here, they keep milling +1 every time they use it. They're down to 28 cards again. Or they're at 28 cards now. They have the ability to survive. Do that again. Each player shuffles their graveyard into their library. Hey, at least they anti-mill tech us, so I guess that's not the worst thing. Okay, Drown in the Lock has been eaten from our graveyard. We're down to 14. This Colossus is actually the most aggressive thing on the board right now. They've also flipped Pact to Negation into their graveyard. We know they play Negate. We've seen it. We need Primal Command not to ever happen again, though. 2, 4, 5. They have 5 mana at their disposal. Do I even counter this? I think I do. Just because, like, I don't want them to get ahead on resources. Like, they're right now stumbling a little bit on mana. So let's keep our foot on their mana base here. Let's keep them locked down a little bit. Okay, Glimpse the Unthinkable, gone. Land, gone. We mill them again. Jace goes up. Does that do anything? I mean,
Organic minds.
Let's have them sacrifice a non-token creature. That non-token creature will be Paradise Druid. So they're down another resource. I feel like I have to, like, hold my mana up here. Because if they survive, that allows me to at least get my stuff back, right? So right now, I need that to happen. Also, this opponent is pre-boarded for Mill. I can't believe that. This opponent came ready to not lose to Mill. They have Survive, which is like hilariously good against us, along with Primal Command. Okay. Sure. So I have to do it again. We have to do it all again. All right, Mill, Glimpse the... There we go. That's what I want. Cling to Dust. I want that to eat their nonsense. Good news is that we hit Atasha's Hideous Laughter, thanks to our wonderful, wonderful little Mesmeric Orb there. We only exiled 9 cards. We didn't hit the main problematic cards from our opponent, though. So that's kind of a nuisance. I think we mill again. Mill another 10. At some point, we gotta just fight through all their stuff, right? Like, I'm milling 10 on my turn. I haven't hit a land. I really could use one, because then I can Maddening Cacophony. Opponent has Survive again. But at least they exile the spell from their graveyard once they do it. But they'll probably hit my Cling to Dust, so I can't do much about that. And I didn't have enough mana to, like, do both Cling to Dust and use, like, Tasha's Hideous Laughter. So if they shuffle again, that's not the worst thing, right? Like, if they shuffle again, they'll now have burned through their Survive. We have now milled them so many times over. It's absurd. Fae of Wishes. That's going to be bad. Bajuka Bog. Okay. I need to get them in one fell... Well, I was going to say swoop, but one fell mill. Sure. Let's shuffle our stuff back in. I need a land. I need a land. I need a land. I need those lands that got milled to come into my hand. All right, I'm down to 31 cards here. Oh, geez, that's really bad.
All your hopes and dreams were for nothing.
All right, Jace, calm down.
Is wasted.
I mean, I have to
No
keep milling this person.
escapes my grasp.
Problem is now I'm milling 8. They're milling... How many triggers is that? It's 10 triggers? They're down to 25. I mean, this is looking kind of close here, right? Like, if I get to keep Jace, they're dead. Assuming that I don't hit something, like, absolutely wild here. I also don't know what their deck is doing. Is it just, like, trying to mill me out? Am I in the mill clock now? I don't understand what's happening here. I came to burn your cards out of your deck. I have 5 turns to live until Klothys actually ends us entirely. They can Bajuka Bog, eating all the cards in my graveyard, so when they inevitably shuffle graveyards back in, I don't know if I'll be able to, like, compete with that, but I still have 12 lands left in the deck. 4, 6, 7. 7 mana? Platinum Angel. That's really bad for us. Okay. Bajuka Bog. They should probably target themselves, to be honest, but I'll take that. Okay, so I need to find an answer to this Platinum Angel, or I lose the game. And I need it to not be in my grave. Actually, I guess if it's in my graveyard, perfect. We have it in the graveyard. We're founding the 3rd path. We mill. Oh, nice. Okay, hold on. 3rd path, 3rd chapter, blow up Platinum Angel. Alright, so we'll make them sacrifice. Sacrifice is a non-token creature. Play that. 3, 5, 6. So this is 12. I mill them for 3. That's 9. They're dead. So, okay, cool. New Jace perfected mine. Take us home. GG's. This is looking good again. We have double Mesmeric Orb. As we've seen, Mesmeric Orb is the carry. The opponent came ready for graveyards. That's great. They have double Leyline of the Void. I don't know how much of our graveyard we use, but oh wow, they also have Thoughtseize. All right. So founding the third path has only 2 modes now. We can cast an instant or sorcery 2 or less, and we mill 4. That's all we do now. Any plans we had prior to that are now out the window with Leyline of the Void ×2. I'm playing the orb. I'm getting rid of my cards. You know, I'm milling myself out here currently. At least they aren't at like 200 cards or something like that. I'm going founding the third path. Chapter 1. Let's mill you 10. Okay. This just looks like mono black control. Right? Like there's a lot of removal there. Oh, it's mono black devotion. Invoke Despair. You know, Mesmeric Orb gets around that. I like that. I like that. I would also like to draw something to do here. But I guess on the brighter side, they untap, they mill. Can they kill an artifact? I have answers for their stuff, like their creatures. So please play creatures unless they are over 3 CMC. Like Obliterator, I need to have Revolt triggered for that to work. Arena. That's like paying. They're going to mill themselves some more. However, I should be careful that Gray Merchant will kill us. So, all right, cool. Yeah, I don't want to chance it. If I mill a few cards, whatever. I mean, I'm just sitting here and I'm just milling and chilling. So, feels good, I guess. They're down to 28 cards here. What do you got for me? Murderous Rider. We're now on the Murderous Rider aggro game plan. We actually are on the Murderous Rider game plan. I think I let this happen. 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah. I'm down to 11, so then I drop to 3. At least now I get to just get rid of Murderous Rider. Or I guess Murderous Rider wouldn't hit me because it wouldn't have haste, but at least I get rid of the card now. I guess you're right. I forgot. I thought I had haste for some odd reason. I said aggro. I just assume everything when you hear aggro has haste. It didn't. But they've milled a lot. They're down to 21 cards here. I may not need to Maddening Cacophony anymore. As in for 6. I can Maddening Cacophony, have 18 milled. They tap out this turn, they die. They're dead. Wait, 4, 6, 8. I am just barely alive. I am just barely alive here. I'm at 4. Comfy. Oh, wait, do they have another Gary? If they had another Gary, I'd lose. All right. So, I can mill them 18. They've already got 5 permanents to untap. You know what? Let's mill them 20 instead. Unless they have Gaia's, like, Blessing or something like that randomly. They can't kill me at instant speed in mono black. So, yeah, we just mill them 20. And they have a Phyrexian Arena. You'll love to see it. All right. Here it is. GG's. We've got it all. We have it all. Founding the third path removal spell. I just need 2 lands. This is beautiful. All right, that's got to die. Also got to preload the best emote in the game, the crowd surfing Karn, to say hello. I mean, that's how I say hello. I don't know how you all say hello on Arena. Every moment. By the way, everyone watching, this is the best emote in the game. There is no better. Like, and I'm talking not just like on. I'm talking about like in the digital space. Crowd surf Karn is the best thing ever. I will take a damage. I mean, you will gain a life. I am scared because Speaker of the Heavens will eventually get to 27 health, but I'm hoping not before I can sweep the board. So, founding the third path here. Go ahead and use Fatal Push. Actually,
what's the worst that could happen if I let Voice the Blessed live?
Actually, you know, no. Greedy Crim, stop it. Go back in the box, Greedy Crim. All right, we're back on the game plan now. We're going to be responsible gamers. All right, we crowd surfed the Karn to say hello. We blew up the Voice of the Blessed. Next turn, we mill them 4. Okay, Idyllic Grange. I believe I pronounced that right. This card has to die. Speaker of the Heavens is a real threat. But right now, is it a Phyrexian level threat? Is this an invasion on a plane threat? Not yet. Not until the angels come down. But we block. Rune Crab, the best blocker of all time. Probably not true, but loosely. Yeah, let's go ahead and play a Watery Grave. Mill you 3 more? Okay, opponent is all about life gain, angels, and probably finding something wild to do once they've gained enough life. So let's keep that from happening. I'm going to go ahead and cast Maddening Cacophony. We milled them 8. They're down to 37 in library, 19 in yard. As ambitious as this Ruin Crab is and wanting to attack, we are not doing that. I actually should have probably glimpsed, because then I would get 2 more cards out of the mill in case they don't play anything. And all I need to do is just Fatal Push, block. All right, so whenever an opponent or another permanent you control becomes target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, counter that spell unless its controller pays 1. This doesn't target. I don't have a land, but I do need to get rid of this Speaker of the Heavens. So I pay the additional 1 on top of that. Yep. Resolves. Pay the 1. Because if I don't and they have another creature built up, then the Sheoldred's Edict doesn't do anything, right? So I don't want that. And I need to do this. I need to get it off the board now while I can, because Castle Ardenvale, I'm not worried about the tokens because you can choose non-token off Sheoldred's Edict. That's why I love this card so much. But Cave of the Frost Dragon is something that I do want to answer at some point. They've chosen to pass the turn here. I like this. So next turn, they have 5 mana. They can bring something back. That's big scary. I'm in need of big lands. Target player mills. Well, as it costs me 1 more, I may as well do my 3 mana spell. Mill you 10. They're down to 25 in deck. 25 in deck. Again, luckily, Maddening Cacophony is each opponent. So I don't have to worry about paying the additional tax here. You're stuck on lands. I'm stuck on lands. Rune Crab does nothing without lands. But if you pass the turn, we can still be friends, you see? Stop. No. Why Banishing Light, my little friend? I'm going to draw the 4th land, aren't I? If I draw the 4th land right now, finally. Oh, Mesmeric Orb. Say less. I'm on board with that. I don't even have to target you with this. This just keeps milling forever. Mesmeric Orb is the people's like best friend here. The metallic boba. It's good for you. Enjoy boba. It's good for you. You know, drink of choice, by the way. Anything grapefruit, usually unsweetened, with boba in it because the boba's sweet enough. But this isn't a boba video, so you know what? You don't need to know about that. Shalai. Huh. That's a bit of a pickle. That is a bit of a pickle, isn't it? So now I need to draw a land and sweep the board. Which I can't. They're making angels. I guess they don't have to do it now. Oh, they can only activate a source. They do have to do it now. I need to draw a land, legitimately. I cannot survive if I don't draw a land here. Alright. Yeah. We kill the Shalai now. Because I'm not going to have a better chance to do this, right? So I'll take 6. They'll make another angel, but I can kill everything. Assuming, of course, that they don't, you know, do anything else that's, like, terrifying to me right now. They are at 13 in deck. They have their 5th land. They could bring back Shalai here. But then they tap out, they mill 5. Right, like... Are they bringing Shalai back? They're activating Cleric class here. Shalai, Voice of Plenty is back, so they've got the Hexproof train going again. They put a 1/1 counter. They hit me for 7. They make another angel, but I am going to sweep the board this time. They untap. They mill 5. They would then drop down to a total of 7 cards after drawing. I need... Well, you know, that's not the worst thing. All right. I think as long as... Okay, the Mesmeric Orb has happened. I'm safe. Now I can just win by Maddening Cacophony. So we just need to not lose this turn right now. Mesmeric Orb, Metallic Boba popping off. Don't care if you answer it now. I do care. Actually, no, I don't even care about Redain because Maddening Cacophony costs 2. And it doesn't target, so I get around all the tax effects that they have. So this is their last turn. And we got to preload the Karn, of course, you know. Again, crowd surfing Karn. This is the best emote in all of the digital spaces I've ever played. This is the best emote online. I can't find a better emote anywhere. It is by far my favorite emote. So I hope everybody gets this emote for free. This is so cool. Great job on this emote, Arena. I love this emote. It's actually my 99% of my identity and personality, if you think about it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and try to make you mill 8. How do you feel about that? Is that cool? Doesn't target you, so I'm safe, even if you have hexproof. All right. And we got there. GG's. Well, we got to actually play a few games here, and the deck worked as I thought it would. It's been super solid. I think Mill is a lot of fun, and it only continues to get better. And Jace has definitely helped, as you saw. At some points, it was able to be card advantage. It was able to do, like, you know, some... just what we want in Mill. It's everything. I was really down on how powerful Jace would be in spoiler season, but after playing with him, he has proven to be a lot better than I thought he'd be. And a very, very sweet card in a good amount of decks, in a Mill deck, in a control deck. So I really am liking Jace. The Mill deck was able to dodge some of the decks like Dragonstorm and whatnot, but like Dragonstorm and Arclight Phoenix, those are your problematic matchups, along with Greasefang, but you do have the tools to fight them, and it's all about when you take the turns, when you tap out, when you do certain things. I think the biggest issue this deck's actually going to face is not those decks, but aggro. I mean, aggro decks, if you do not have the sweeper, I think you're going to die. So you need to make sure that whatever hands you're keeping hands that have removal, and or you are so confident that you're going to mill them out, like before your health total becomes 0. This is that's how it's going to play in best of 1. Obviously, there's a best of 3 version of this where you can just load up on sweepers and things like that, and that'll help a lot. But as of right now in best of 1, I think this deck is fun as it is. It's very much so focused on you and maybe like a few removal spells, pieces here and there to keep you alive. I can't wait to see what else like comes down the pipeline when new sets drop, because Mill is just getting better and better. And when you have like the anthologies coming to Arena or anything like that had come to Arena, when Arena puts new cards out, it always, like, I just feel like Mill is so close to just being like a tier 1 deck. I know I'm the blue-black hair guy, and I love Dimir and Mill and all that, so naturally I would say that. But this deck is a lot of fun. Is it the best deck in the ladder, in the meta? Probably not. But in a world where, like, Goblin Charbelcher exists, you can mill them to the point where their lands, they just don't have enough things to Charbelcher you with. There's so many things in Historic right now that I'm in love with this format. It's so much fun. It's so wide open. As you saw, like, the decks we played against, I couldn't tell you the meta because the meta is wide. It is all over the place. So Historic's a lot of fun. Go out there, try it for yourself. This Mill deck is great. I will say that I've started to realize that people are kind of just, as you've heard throughout the video, just jamming over 60 cards, like 80 cards, 100 cards. I've even played against somebody who had like 200, whatever the card cap is. So be ready for that in Gaia's Blessing as this deck continues to improve and take off. But most part, take it out for a spin, all you Mill lovers. And if you haven't done so yet, go check out all my content. It's on mtggoldfish.com. I have my own YouTube channel, Crim Nguyen, CrimNguyen. And of course, twitch.tv/The Asian Avenger, along with all social media. That's the best way to support my channel. Come by, come say hi, talk magic, talk anime, talk whatever. Just come by, say hi. I appreciate y'all for it. Thanks for watching this video. And again, thanks Arena for having me. And crowd surfing the Karn is one of the best emotes to ever hit the game. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.